It is August 7th, 2020. We're here on the rooftop of the property at 1850 Naragansett Court, San Diego 92107. We here have a 4-inch vent on the rooftop here. I'm going to go ahead and pan across here above the bathroom for essentially the upstairs part of the house. There's a lower level. So this is an original 4-inch cast iron vent. Here we see a transition into ABS plastic. So somebody's replaced part of this piping. Here it's making a transition into the horizontal line. So this is now running across. We have a T-junction right here. Now we do have a lower unit. We didn't discover it yet, but we're assuming it possibly may be on a sump pump system. And there's a 2-inch pipe that is possibly a discharge pipe in the ceiling, and then is going back over and then is dumping into the system right here. So we're running across this 4-inch pipe. This is the newer plastic that was repaired or replaced at some time. Here we're transitioning to the original cast iron again. T-junction there that may be picking up the kitchen and laundry. We'll put another camera in to try to determine where it junctions in. A little bit of cobwebs there on the line. A little bit of scale and deposits and buildup on the bottom there, as you can see, but nothing too severe right there. A lot more cobwebs here. Overall, the line is nice and open, though. We're not finding any roots. A little bit of standing water. Sometimes this can be just due to some buildup in the bottom of the pipe. Those hard scale and deposits that will get into the cast iron will do that. Otherwise, it could be some debris that's clogging farther up ahead and causing this water to hang out. And the last condition would be called the sag. So anytime the pipe... Okay, there we go. So we kind of just came up. You can see we're actually going up slightly. This little mound of debris. So there's some heavy debris right here and scale of deposits on the bottom of the pipe right here. And that's dammed that up. So we kind of ride up and over that. And then we're back across. So if it gets worse over time, a hydrojetter can sometimes get in there to go ahead and clean that up. Scrape the walls gently. Still all original cast iron. Still, though, in completely functional condition. Usually you don't see this many cobwebs. Usually we see a lot of roots like that, but those are not roots. Those are just a bunch of cobwebs in the line, appears to be. Okay, we just transitioned into greenbelt PVC pipe. We know from the city sidewalk, they opened that up and they went ahead and replaced that section of pipe and put a concrete lid. And here's the T-junction, and we can see the access point from the sidewalk with the lid. We took that off. So here's the new greenbelt PVC pipe that the city contractors installed. A little turn on the line here. Let's make sure that's not a T. Nope, that's just a turn. Another turn right here. And then here at 81 feet from the top of the vent is the junction into the main city sewer pipe in the street. So the line is all clear, and we don't have any issues with the piping through the main. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this camera inside the line with the push rod, and we're going to grab a second camera, and we're going to attempt to go from the kitchen and laundry line to see if we can see that that's clear and where it exactly is intersecting. And then we'll again double check the downstairs bathroom to verify where the sump pump system may possibly be, if that's how that one's operating. Okay, so we brought in a very small camera to start, because sometimes these kitchen and laundry lines can get really constricted with debris. So this is not a self-leveling camera. We're going to go through the 1.5-inch laundry vent. This was all replaced with new ABS. We can actually see it inside the garage. Well, we've got some strange heavy debris right there, so I don't know what's going on, but you can see right here, whatever we're going through is clogged up with something heavy and thick. So something fell into the line or was pushed into the line here, so we can see some type of little kind of paper, something right there, and then something maybe folded over here, and then some more debris folded up over here. So that's going to need to be cleaned out. We're going to go ahead and pull our camera out as we continue to record. I want to see how distant we are down here. So we're just laying our camera out here to get a distance of how far we pushed out, because this little one doesn't have a distance meter, the nano camera. So we were in about 6 feet or so we didn't even get vertically down. So it is in the vent pipe. So that'll need to be cleaned up. Your vent pipe obviously needs to stay open. That lets the gases out and lets the air into the line. So we'll go ahead and look back into the garage area, how that's set up behind the machines. But that's this here in the garage. And as we go over here, this I believe was the original vent right here, the silver pipe for the old water heater. They're now running a direct vent tankless, so it comes off the side of the house. We're just going to carry our camera and equipment over a few feet right here. And here is the kitchen vent. We do have a clean out on the side of the house, quite a few feet up because of the grade that the side of the house goes down for a clean out. But since we're here on the roof, we'll go ahead and see if this is a straight vertical pipe. We may be able to get all the way through and into the kitchen line from here. So we're pushing across right now. The line probably is either because it's old cast iron or has a lot of buildup in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause the camera for a second and get some cold water running through the line. Okay, so here we're pulling out our camera here just a little bit. We have the kitchen water running right now. So you can see we now have a little bit of a view. There was probably just a lot of fat, food, and grease bound up in the line. So there we go. This is still original cast iron. Now here we go. We've transitioned into plastic. And we believe this may be running in a soffit that is in the downstairs kind of living room area. So now you can see right here our pipe is draining. And the pipe, obviously right here, looks normal with the water running. And as we come up to here, there's two conditions either happening. There's either a blockage in the line or the pipe doesn't have proper downhill slope. Because as you can see, as we push forward here, we started to go completely underwater in some really heavy areas here. And this is what can happen sometimes when somebody reroutes a line across a ceiling or a soffit area. There's just not enough way to get downhill slope. So for every 4 feet you travel, it has to get 1 inch deeper. And we believe that this is possibly a line that is going across, exposed in front of the HVAC unit, and then in the little area across. So we've come out of that. We're in again some water here, but we do have the water running. So once we get all the way out, we'll stop the water and then pull back out. So we may have sags and bellies on the line due to improper slope in a couple different pockets, but we're going to keep pushing out here while the water's running, and we still have things moving for us to see if, again, this is... Okay, we're back into cast iron, and here's our main sewer. So there is our orange-red push rod that we have in the main sewer line. And so this is the end of the line, so it is completely intact and functional. As we pull back here, you can see there's definitely a little bit of cast iron. Some heavy buildup right there, you can see. That white stuff is all fat and grease that has floated to the top of the pipe because it's probably not draining out perfect with the slope. But we're going to go ahead and leave the camera right here at the end of the line where it's dumping into the main. We're going to go ahead now and pause the video while we shut the kitchen water off. Okay, so we went back into the lower part of the unit where there's some storage space, essentially the ceiling of the lower level, and we can definitely see that this appears to be this little bit of cast iron right here, and it transitions right here to the plastic. We can see that. There's a little opening T-junction right there vertically, and we can see in the old abandoned trapway dump system that they had something possibly going into, so there's that T-junction. So there's all that grease and fat that's floated up to the top. At one point in time, as we back up on the line here, it looks like they might have had the HVAC unit dumping into a T-junction as well. And probably because when the kitchen line backs up, it makes a mess and overflows into there. They abandoned that. They now have that dumping into... All right, there's the T-junction right there. So on the left-hand side of the screen, that white, that's a T opening. That white pipe is the PVC T transition, where it's capped off right now, but that's where they had the HVAC condensate dumping into. They abandoned that. So you can see so far with the water off, we are looking pretty good. Everything's drained out a lot cleaner than we expected. So a little bit of standing water here. But that forward section, we were a little more concerned farther up. But we do have this standing water here. So as you can see, as we back up on the line here, there's some of the grease and fat on the sides, and there's the beginning of this sag belly to the line that's constantly holding water. So it's not terrible, but this is just going to land up requiring maintenance on occasion, and we don't recommend snaking the line. You can use a mini hydro jetter. That uses the high pressure water to really scrape the lines clean, because that fat and grease doesn't really get removed during the snaking process. You need to really scrape the walls out. So when it does back up, that's going to be the preferred method for the type of piping and the distance and with that sag in the line. But we're backing up on this ABS. We believe this is running across the soffit that is in the living room of that downstairs area. Now we're transitioning back to the original cast iron here. Turn right there on the line, and now we're coming back up and out of the system here. So now we did go ahead, and as we pull our camera out here, where we went through the other vent just across the rooftop here, that other 1.5-inch vent for the laundry that had that debris in it, there's two 90-degree elbows in the garage area behind the cabinets and some other debris, and that's where that stuff is all jammed up. So that pipe needs to be cut out. Now additionally, we also noted that the laundry drain is out of code. A laundry drain is required to be 2-inch, and it's been that way for 30-40 years. So they have an 1.5-inch trap. So they put new plastic pipe in, I don't know when, but they did. Unfortunately, they only ran it 1.5 inches. So it's not the end of the world, and really old homes it was done in 1.5 inches, just like shower stalls, but a long time ago it was changed to 2-inch. So when it was upgraded to plastic, it was supposed to have been upgraded to 2-inch, but they have it junctioning into a utility sink about 5-6 feet away, and that goes into old metal pipe that's also 1.5 inches. So I guess they didn't want to do all that work to bring it up to code. So it's still going to allow it to function and be okay. We just want to, again, point it out that it's not to code. Not saying you have to change it out right now, but this is part of what we're here for, to do an inspection and let you know what's functional and what is in and out of code or what requires repair. So that concludes this part of it. We're going to go ahead and now take a special camera and see if we can get down through the toilet of the lower unit. Okay, so we're now here in the lower part of the house where we have this full bathroom. We have an old school shower valve set up, and we noted on our paperwork the diverter doesn't work properly on this, but it's probably not repairable. It's such an old school style unit. The bar sink that's right here around the corner here, the drain for that where it attaches to the sink, it's called a junior duo strainer, that is actively leaking. So now we're going to try to determine where this part of the sewer line is going to, since it does not appear to be going to a sump pump. So we've got a special camera here. We're going to see if we can get lucky and get through the toilet bowl and into the sewer main and see where it's headed to. If it's going to another lateral down the hillside and somewhere else. Well, right here is where the toilet dumps out. We're going to flush the toilet, see if the water helps us make this turn here. Pipe where it dumps into, we may not be able to make the turn. Every toilet's a little different. There's no guarantee with these special cameras that they can make these turns. Oh, there we go. Okay, this cast iron, so that black was just the horn of the wax seal that was used. Now, we don't know if we're still going to be able to get very far, but at least we made this initial turn down the line. We're going to go ahead and flush the toilet again, get some more water. Hopefully that'll help maneuver the push rod and camera through. Not a guarantee, but hopefully it will here. So it looks like we're bound up pretty tight. There we go. Okay, there's a vent right there. There's our line going horizontally across here. Now again, our other camera is still in the piping system, so we have not pulled out the first camera on that push rod. That's why we did the kitchen and we showed where that eventually junctioned in. But this is so much deeper, it's got to be its own separate line and pathway. So that's what we're trying to determine right now. Okay, we're going to have to flush the toilet again, see if more water can help reduce and carry this out farther. So there's a lot of little turns here at this junction, so I don't think we're going to get past this point here. So see, we drop down, and this T-fitting here, the camera's dropping vertically down, so it's coming straight into it. It's not a sweeping turn. And with all the twists and turns every time, and of course it makes it even more complicated to push the actual camera on the push rod farther out. So it is original cast iron piping. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's original to the house. Could have been redone at some point, but we can't get any further out. Now, we did pass the vent. As we noted, everything has to have a vent, so we're going to go back up to the rooftop and see if there's another vent close by to here that might be using this one, and we can come over the top. So we're going to leave this camera here, we're going to pause and go back to the rooftop. Okay, so our camera, from detaching the monitor a few times, got a little glitchy, so we may have a little piece that's off here. We'll see what happens. Now again, here's our first camera that we've left in from the 4-inch vent. We went to the other side of the house and went through the kitchen and laundry vents. We found the debris in the laundry vents. We did get all the way through the kitchen, which the laundry eventually junctions into. Now right next to the toilet vent here, we do have this vent. We do have a bathtub right next to here, so because we're hoping that one of these vents might junction into the downstairs toilet, we're going to push down all the vents that are up here, see if they somehow continue down and are being utilized for that one. Bunch of cobwebs here and a bunch of debris and buildup. So this is what happens again with older cast iron vents, especially closer to the coast. The salty air erodes them away. So you can see it's completely blocked up right here. There's probably some air pockets you can get up and through those couple little openings, but we're not going to be able to push the camera through here. We don't suspect this continues all the way down for the other bathroom, but it might. But this is not an access point that we can use. If we push all that debris and try to go past it, it could clog up the whole tub line, or even worse, cause something to not function well. So we're going to go ahead and pause and pull out of this line, or actually we'll pull back out and show as we come back up that came out cleanly here. Okay, we're going to pause and move over to the other side. Okay, so there's the toilet vent and the other tub vent we just tried to go down. Now over here we have the his and hers sink on this side, so this should be just for those sinks, but again, same thing, we're going to give it a try to see if somehow it's being utilized, which we don't think this one could, but we'll push down it anyway. A bunch of cobwebs, so we're going to have to pull back out here and wipe these off the lens. See if we get a view again. Going back down. This should be where the drain is coming across there. Might be the vent from the downstairs even. Here's two more openings right here. Okay, so you can see this is all built up, so you can see all that debris. Now, at 18 feet 4 inches, we may be a little deeper, so this actually may be possibly what the vent pipe is being utilized from the downstairs level bathroom. But as you can see, just like we noted, this is what happens with old cast irons, completely blocked up. So essentially, over time, that has to be repaired or removed and cleaned out of the system. So we cannot continue down this vent to try to get access into that downstairs bathroom. So we've got one other vent we saw on the rooftop. It's on the other side of the house, but we're going to go ahead and show that one as well. So we're going to pause and move over to there. Okay, so we're back over to this side of the house. So again, we're clear on the other side, a little skylight here. We have this other vent right here. Not sure what this is going to, because the bathrooms are on the other side with the bar sink that's on the lower level. So we'll go down this pipe and see if it connects into anything. It may become horizontal and maybe it does connect into the other one, but it's going to be hard to say. It's definitely flaking apart, and definitely, yeah, we could see just from pushing down this one as well is also all clogged up. But again, we're not sure from the way the plumbing is laid out for here what this vent is going to, because the kitchen and laundry are on the side of the house and the bathrooms are up and down from each other, clear on the other side of the house. But again, we wanted to look at every vent on the rooftop because we cannot get into the whole sewer system for the downstairs lower bathroom. The toilet is again going to have to be pulled, which you'd have to get permission from the owner to do, and then we could get the camera pushed all the way out. But trying to go through the toilet bowl trapway, we did as best as we could with the one camera, getting into some of the cast iron, but could not get all the way out. So we're going to go ahead and pause and move back over to the other main vent and see if there's a T-junction on that we missed going down vertically. Okay, so here's our original camera going through the 4-inch cast iron vent. So we're going to go down this one more time and see if there was a T-junction, because since we have a vent right next to this for the tub, the only T-junction that would be used here would be to go for the lower unit venting. So let's push down this and see if we missed one, or just find one, period. Here is the plastic piping already. Nope, there's where the toilet dumps into the line right there. And then you can see there, with even some paper on it, or somebody must have flushed something, there's our transition to the horizontal line, just barely 12 feet down. So we do not have access, unfortunately, to the lower unit sewer line, so we do not know where it's running to, if it has any issues. This line does not have a clean out, but we do have a full-size 4-inch vent, so at least if it backs up, it can be easily accessed for the short distance across. until he gets to the property line to the city. But the lower unit really need to determine where that pipe's going to make sure there are no problems, as well as then determine its path to mark it out to see if there is a clean out, or if not, where you could possibly install one day, since in the house you'd have to pull the toilet just to try to clear that line if it ever clogged up as of right now. So that concludes the recording for this property.